Hello, my name is Paul Blake. I am the chairman of Fermanagh and Omagh Policing and Community Safety Partnership. The Policing and Community Safety Partnership have joined with Southwest College to bring you a video highlighting what antisocial behaviour is and how we as a community can take steps to combat that. We hope you find this video informative and can help us in taking the necessary steps to combat antisocial behaviour.
Certainly. My name's Johnny Hamill. I'm the neighbourhood sergeant for the Omagh town area. I've been a police officer now for 16 years. The first 10 of those were spent in Skillen and then moved here to Omagh. Well, antisocial behaviour is a district priority, and with being part of the neighbourhood team, it is also an area that we have to focus on quite a lot. We would get numerous reports from the community, and our role is to try and improve understanding about what antisocial behaviour is. Antisocial behaviour, largely it's noise. Noisy parties, people tend to get maybe involved just in their own little peer group. We would get calls, particularly around the weekend, to a lot of parks and other shared areas around the town. Those reports would be largely to do with younger folk who would have gathered together, maybe shared a few drinks, a bit of laughing, those sorts of activities we would be called to quite a lot. Also then the aftermath of that, we would have people maybe contacting us the morning after to say that they've come to a park maybe with their kids or to jog, cycle, walk dogs, and they find a mess left behind. That might be discarded alcohol containers, it could be cigarette butts, it could be discarded fast food containers. Our role is not in any way provocative or antagonistic. We're not here to try and spoil anyone's fun. We would like to encourage everybody to show more tolerance, and the only thing we would ask people to do is just ask themselves whether or not the activities that they're engaging in could impact upon other people's enjoyment and ability to go about their day-to-day business as they would wish. The residents of the town contact us on a regular basis in relation to that, particularly coming into the hours of darkness. You would have older people, families with young children who are trying to settle down for an evening, and people who would maybe, I suppose, the hours that they would keep, the hours that they would socialise in, would be later than maybe older people or very young people, and there then would be a lot of noise, and that would impact upon their ability just to enjoy themselves. But it's amazing just how far noise can travel. People don't realise maybe how much noise they're creating, and they don't realise as well what sort of image that they are portraying. We have spoken to a number of people around the town who say they feel quite intimidated by groups of younger people. There's nothing for them to be afraid of, but there is that disconnect. People have certain views, almost stereotypes. I think that disconnect, and for the older folk, I say to them, you're not at any risk or danger from younger folks, and for the younger folks as well, just to bear that in mind. Just think about the image that you're projecting and portraying, and a little wave or a hello missus, nice day, isn't it, would make the world of difference. I think there's that perception that young people are up to no good. That is not the case. We're here in a public space today. A group of 10, 20, 30 young folk have as much right to be here, to sit around in the grass, chat, play with their friends, and play a bit of music, as anybody does to walk their dog, push a pram, go for a jog. And there is just that disconnect. What we're really trying to do is to encourage people just to communicate, to try and break down those barriers. There's expectations and obligations there on both sides, to try and address that.
My name is Tim Shields, and I am the pastor of Omagh Community Church. When you walk around Omagh and you come across and encounter large groups of young people, it can be quite an uncomfortable experience. I suppose that's what many people would describe as antisocial behaviour, anything that impacts society in a negative way. And whilst I know that when you encounter a large group of teenagers, primarily it's an intimidating experience, but yeah, more often than not, kids are just looking for somewhere to be, somewhere to engage, somewhere to build relationship and community, but yet the noise levels, just the volume of the people itself can be a very intimidating experience for a lot of people. We have our building with Omagh Community Church in the town centre. It's in Old Marketplace. Because of the nature of the work that we do as a church, when we opened our building up on Friday afternoons, we were engaging with a lot of teenagers in the town who just took the building as their own and would just walk in whenever they thought it was appropriate. Sometimes drunk, sometimes on drugs, sometimes not, just looking for a place that they could call their own. I'm not sure how or what the answer is to fix it or change it, because kids are kids, teenagers are teenagers, young people are young people, and they're always looking for places and spaces to belong.
Hello, I'm Conor McCann and I'm a business student at Southwest College Omagh, and I got my licence in November of 2021. Since I've got my licence, I've been pulled over by the police twice, both of which were to do with my insurance. The first time I got pulled over, the police were very nice to me and just politely asked if I had insurance and why it wasn't coming up in their system. The second time though, I felt a little bit more intimidated by the police. I think they thought because I was a young driver I didn't know what I was doing, and said did I even know what I needed for my insurance, and I did definitely feel a lot more intimidated, and I think it was because I was a young driver.
There's no need to feel intimidated when police pull you over. Police would pull you over if you've committed a moving traffic offence, or if you need to check your driving documents, or if you've come up in their system as no insurance, so that's why we would stop to ascertain your details in relation to these matters.
Yes, I definitely do feel pressurised when I'm going at my maximum speed limit on the road. Definitely I feel, especially if there's a car just right on my tail, it definitely makes me want to go faster, but I know I can't. It definitely puts me under more pressure. At the end of the day, all our plate drivers, they've all passed the driving test, so they have to drive to a certain standard. But yes, I do believe that there is some drivers out there that are better than others, and that obviously our drivers don't have as much experience as other drivers, but I don't think all our drivers as a whole should be judged just because they don't have as much experience.
What are the main reasons to why you would pull someone over while driving?
The main reasons would be if they've committed a road traffic offence. We do have road legislation, road traffic law, and we could stop a driver on that, or if they've been involved in an incident that's been related to a crime, or if we need to talk to that person, that's why we would pull over a car.
On a random patrol, are you more inclined to stop an hour driver?
No. No, we are not. Again, it would be a driver of anyone if they committed an offence, but not specific. We would never just pull over an hour driver.
I'm from Camps Crescent, a member of Camps Residents Association too, but I've lived in Camps all my life. Well, I would like to speak to them and ask them what they would like. Do they realise what they're doing? Oh yes, we were all children. I'm sure we were no better when we were their age, but you've got to understand and consider that they have parents and grandparents and people around them.
Antisocial behaviour is something or someone that causes distress, a disturbance or annoyance to a person or a community. Residents would have a number of issues in relation to antisocial behaviour. It could be anything from noises from vehicles, it could be groups of people nearby that are loud, anything to like littering as well.
Antisocial behaviour around Omagh can be pretty bad. There'll be loads of like young people, like teenagers, who would meet up after school, possibly get into fights over the boating leg. That's mostly where the fights happen, in Omagh and the Oasis Plaza. The change I would like to see in Omagh to tackle antisocial behaviour would definitely be to have like more things to have in Omagh for young people to do, such as skate park, bowling alley. Now that the Grange Park is now being revamped, there is nowhere for young people to go and hang out with their friends.
Yeah, I'd say I feel prejudged by the majority of them, not everyone, but mainly similar to age, but also older people. Yeah, whenever me and my friends will just be like, even if it's just as simple as going for a walk, chatting, you can get dirty looks. I don't think I really can do anything to change this, and I'm not sure many people would be able to, because at the end of the day, they have as much of a right to be here as anyone else.
is causing most by teenagers?
Yes, I do find that where I live, they've got a riverbank and it's full of rubbish. And I brought it to the attention of some people maybe going to do litter pick on that. But where I see it from my house, it is totally the riverbank's full, and the young children that I keep from the school are all very aware of this. They're learning at school about saving the environment, saving, putting plastic in the water and everything.
Has your school ever given you talks or PSAs about littering?
Yes, definitely when we were more younger, I felt like they tried to engrave it into our brains a wee bit more and how to show us why it was good and why it was bad. But now I think when we're just gotten older, it isn't really shown as much, but it's still like, we're still expected to not litter, you know?
No, I don't think so, no.
I believe so, probably in primary school more. And in secondary school we all used to go out with litter pickers and go pick up the litter. We used to wear a green vest and walk around the town and pick up all the litter. But for that to be an activity to do like once every few months, it should be something that's regular, like once a week everybody's going out and picking up their litter, and overall we shouldn't have to do that. People should just be cleaning up after themselves and putting their litter in the bin.
What would you say to people who leave dangerous rubbish lying around in public parks?
I would say to them, be considerate of the community and be considerate of the area. These are the places where children play, people go for walks, and just to have respect for the local community and to pick up your litter.
Well, I could safely say that antisocial behaviour is probably the single largest call for service that we get. Within local businesses, it's not usually as often. It's more maybe in public spaces, such as where we are today, where local business owners would contact us to say that maybe there was a crowd of large unruly crowd maybe outside, and they believe that these people might be dissuading clients from coming into their business. They think that their clients may feel a little bit intimidated. I think one of the things about antisocial behaviour is that it means different things to different people. People have different thresholds. So the definition of antisocial behaviour would be anything that causes anybody distress or annoyance. So what might annoy me might not annoy you or might not annoy somebody else. So yes, we do find that happens quite a lot. And again, we would encourage people just to show a bit of consideration, respect, to consider their surroundings. You know, take a bit of pride in the place that they come from. You know, take a pride in the sense of place.
I'm involved now in my own sports shop now for 39 years, and I don't think I've heard much in this last 10 years. Previous to that, I had were bits and pieces at the bus depot after schools, with different schools meeting up and different fights taking place.
While Marty's business is located in the centre of Omagh, most of the reports of antisocial behaviour do not take place in the centre, but instead other places located a little farther from the centre.
My name is and I represent PSNI. On day to day, yes, I would come around breakfast drivers around the town, but it wouldn't be the young folks in the modified cars. It comes from every different age group and every kind of vehicle driver, from lorries, vans, cars, everything. I think it's just a common occurrence in Omagh, but it's nothing to do with the modified drivers. I actually find them to be safer because they care about their cars, so they don't want to be wrecking about them as much. Usually on the Friday nights, we come in here about 8, half 8 to get set up, and then we'd have cars convoying in and parking up and getting out and chatting with their mates. Usually we go on for a couple of hours, but if we find that here in the Omagh depot getting too packed, we'll go out to the Kremlin parking right to try and keep traffic off the road, and then that they'll go on to about 11. What I'd like the locals to know my area about PSNI is that we're not actually all hooligans and cars. We're actually here trying to build a legally safe car community for the car enthusiasts, because I know a lot of young people now, especially after lockdown, enjoy their cars as a breakaway from anything that they have. So we're actually just using them here as an outlet to help young people that have an enthusiasm, especially about Omagh. There's a lot of things to do for young people, so a lot of people do take a safe haven in their cars. So I'm thinking there, I'd like the public not to think of us as an enemy, but as somebody that's trying to do good in the local community. In terms of public image, it would just be what I've went over there. I know a lot of people do say it's just hooligans in cars wrecking about,
and mostly it's just careless driving. I know a lot of people associate young people driving as like drink driving, drugs, fighting and everything, but we aren't about that there. We are a legalised car community. You can ask the police or anything, if they ever stop a young driver, they'll never find one drink driving or doing drugs or anything, because as I said, we do care about our cars, and the last thing, a lot of car people know us pride and joy, and the last thing we want is to have it impounded or taken away or crushed or crashed. My biggest relationship with the police at the minute is trying to legalise all our car meets. We have a good working relationship the last while with the police, trying to help us and trying to help them to keep down the number of complaints for them. I would like Outquest to be perceived in the police as somebody that is trying to work with them and not against them. I'd like them to see us as people that are just enthusiastic about cars, not people that are here to wreck or make their job hard, but people that they can come interact with and help build community relations.
At least they're doing an activity which isn't really doing anybody any harm apart from maybe the noise it makes late at night, you know. And they do spend a lot of money on their vehicles and insurance and all that. But it's just that if it was finished by say 11 o'clock at night, that would be okay, because it's right in the town centre, where my bedroom where I sleep would be maybe 200, 300 yards from where that's taking place. They probably don't realise that there are houses around, you know, and because it's a town centre location, they maybe think there's nobody living around here, you know.
We can show we care about our community by taking these simple steps. Connect with your fellow members of the community, act with consideration of those around you, reflect on how your own actions might affect the community and how other people might perceive those actions, and engage with local initiatives and help take steps to combat antisocial behaviour in the community.